Hi, hello everyone. So, as as I told you guys, I'll come live on 3rd and I'll start reading again. So, yeah, so why I was not doing live for 3 days because I was busy for my exams and it's over now. So, we can start again. Let's go. I've come 4 minutes earlier. Okay, let's wait for some time. Let's see. Let join people. I'll wait till 7 and then I'll start reading. So, before starting, I'll just give you a glimpse what we were studying yesterday. The author was saying that why everything is possible, and he gave an example of jumping to like a big building like this is the diagram, and if the reason is valid then we can go from there to there, but if somebody offers money then we'll say no, we our life, our life is more important. Things like that. Why it is your reason for wanting to do it, like our reasons. If our why, so what the author is saying that if our why is clear then everything is possible, and if our why is not that strong enough then nothing is possible. Everything will just go and slide and we'll waste our time. 2 minutes left. Hi. To truly ignite your creative potential and inner drive, you have to look beyond the motivation of monetary and material goals. It's not that those motivations are bad, in fact, they're great. I'm connoisseur of nice things. But material stuff can't really recruit your heart, soul, and guts into the fight. The passion has to come from a deeper place. And even if you acquire the shiny objects, you won't capture the real prize. Happiness and fulfillment. In my interview with peak performance expert Tony Robbins, he said, I have been business moguls achieve their ultimate goal but still live in frustration, worry, and fear. What's preventing these successful people from being happy? The answer is that they have focus only on achieving and not fulfillment. Extraordinary accomplishment does not guarantee extraordinary joy, happiness, and love and a sense of meaning. These two skills sets feed off each other and makes me believe that success without fulfillment is failure. Well said. That's why it's not enough to choose to be successful. You have to dig a deeper than that to find your core motivation to active your superpower, your why power. So it's 7. Let's start reading now. Though I was just revising this because as my exam was going on, so I was not able to. So I just forgot what I was reading. So now I remember. So the author was talking about the why power. It is he's saying that if your why is strong enough, then you can do anything. And like here he's saying that money and all these things are very good, but you have to but the reason have to come from within. See, that passion has to come from a deeper place. And even if you acquire the shiny objects, it means like money and all the stuff, you won't capture. I wanna hear the Indian accent is so great. I'm feeling okay. And even if you acquire the shiny objects, you won't capture the real prize. Happiness and fulfillment. In my interview with peak performance expert Tony Robbins, he said, I have seen business moguls achieve their ultimate goals but still live in frustration, worry, and fear. What's preventing these successful people from being happy? The answer is that they have focused only on achievement and not fulfillment. Extraordinary accomplishment does not guarantee extraordinary joy, happiness, love, and a sense of meaning. These two skills sets feed off each other and makes me believe that success without fulfillment is a failure. Oh, well said. That's why it's not enough to choose to be successful. You have to dig deeper that then that find your core motivation to activate your superpower. So basically, here author is trying to say that if you focus on just achieving things like I want to achieve a big house, I want to achieve a big car, or if your motivations are like that, then after achieving all those goals you will stop and maybe you will not feel the fulfillment, you will not feel the level of joy and satisfaction after achieving all this stuff. So your motivation have to be core, it has to come from within. So the next heading is, this is page number 61, and the heading is core motivation. The access point to your why power is through your core values, which define both who you are and what you stand for. Your core values are your internal compass, your guiding beacon, your personal GPS. They act as the filter through which you run all of life's demands, requests, and temptations, making sure they're leading you towards your intended destination. Getting your core values defined and properly calibrated is one of the most important steps in redirecting your life towards your grandest vision. If you haven't already clear defined your values, you may find yourself making choices that conflict with what you want. If, for example, honesty is a big thing for you, page number 62, but you hang out with liars, there's a conflict. When your actions conflict with your values, you will end up unhappy, frustrated, and despondent. In fact, psychologists tell us that nothing creates more stress than when our actions and behaviors are congruent with our values. Defining your core values also helps make life simpler and more efficient. Decision making is also easier when you are certain of your core values. Once I went through the practice of figuring out my own core values and boiled it down to the top three: growth, excellence, and impact. Decision making Decision making at both the macro and micro level became much more clear and purposeful. When faced with a choice, ask yourself, does this align with my core values? If it does, do it. If not, don't. And don't look back. All fleeting and decisions are eliminated. To next heading, page number 62. Find your fight. People are either motivated by something they want or something they don't want. Love is powerfully motivating force, but so is hate. Contrary to social correctness, it can be good to hate. Hate disease, hate injustice, hate ignorance, hate complacency, and so on. Sometimes identifying an enemy lights your fire. Some of my greatest motivation, determination, and dogged persistence came when I had an enemy to fight. In history, the most transformational stories and political, page number 63, political revolution came about as a result of fighting an enemy. David had Goliath, America had the British, Luke had Darth Vader, Rocky had Apollo Creed. 20 somethings have the man. Pepsi has Coke. DC has Marvel Comics. Taylor Swift has Kanye West. We could go on and on, but you get the point. Enemies give us a reason to stand tall with courage. Having to fight challenges your skills, your character, and your resolve. If it forces you to assess and exercise your talents and abilities, without a motivating fight, we can become fat and lazy. We lose our strength and purpose. Some of my mentorship clients worry that their why power derives from less than noble goals. They feel guilty for wanting to prove the naysayers wrong or wanting to get back at the person who said they'd never amount to anything, or beat the competition, or finally one up a sibling who always dominated them. But really, it doesn't matter what the motivation is as long as it is a legal and moral. So I remember a story after reading this. So the author is saying about competitions and haters. So there is a movie, or it was a movie or a series, whatever. There is a series or movie, just I don't remember. The Hustlers. So here, in that series or movie, he literally made a company because he hated his brother, and because his father and everyone in his house, and mostly his father, used to praise his brother all the time, and he used to hate his brother because he was good at everything and he wasn't. So just because he had the reason to hate his brother, he literally built a company. Imagine if he wouldn't have his brother, because his brother was a topper and he was an average guy. So his brother motivated him to become a better person. We can take example from anything. Yeah, it's good. You don't have to be motivated for great humanitarian reasons. What matters is that you feel fully motivated. Sometimes that motivation can help you use a powerfully negative emotion or experience to create an even more powerful and successful end. This is certainly true. This is certainly true of one of history's most celebrated football coaches, Pete Carroll. Pete explained his early motivation to me like this. When I grew up, I was a little dink. I couldn't do much because I was just too small. It took me a couple of years to get a place where I could be competitive. All the time, I was living with the fact that I was much better and I needed to fight to prove it. I was frustrated because I knew I could be special. Carroll's need to fight ultimately brought out his greatness. Page number 64. An interview with acclaimed actor Anthony Hopkins, I was surprised to learn that his extraordinary talent and determination blossomed from anger. Hopkins admitted to being a horrible student burdened with dyslexia and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder before such diagnosis existed. He was shackled with the label problem child. I was source of worry for my parents, Hopkins revealed. I had no apparent future because schooling and education were important, but I didn't seem to have the ability to grasp what was being taught to me. My cousins were all brilliant. I felt resentful and rejected by a whole society and was very depressed. Hopkins harnessed his anger. At first, it propelled him to fight to achieve success outside of academics or athletes. He discovered he had a glimmer of talent in acting. So he used his anger towards the belittling labels he'd been given to fuel his commitment to the craft of acting. Today, Hopkins is considered one of the greatest actors alive. As a result of the fame and fortune he acquired, Hopkins has been able to help countless people in the fight to recover from substance abuse. In addition to support important environmental work. Though initially it wasn't grounded in a noble cause, his fight was clearly worthwhile. We can, we can all make powerful choices. We can all take back control by not blaming chance, fate, or anyone else for our outcomes. It's within our ability to create change. Rather, rather than letting past hurtful experiences sap our energy and sabotage our success, we can use them to fuel positive, constructive change. Red dot. How can I get that red dot in my head? Where can you find? Where is red dot? What are you saying? Goals, page number 66. As I mentioned before, the compound effect is always working and it will always take you somewhere. The question is where. You can harness the relentless force and have it carry you to new heights. But you must know where you want to go. What goals, dreams, and destination do you desire? When I attended the funeral of Paul J. Mayer, another mentor of mine, I was determined of the richness and diversity of his life. He's achieved, experienced, and contributed more than dozens of people combined. His obituary, his his obituary made me reassess the quantity and size of the goals I set for myself. If Paul were here, he would tell us if you are not making the progress that you would like to make and are capable of making, it is simply because your goals are too clearly defined. One of Paul's most memorable quotes remind us of the most important reminds us of the importance of goals. When quoted, whenever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe and enthusiastically act upon must inevitably come to pass. The one skill most responsible for the abundance in my life in learning how to effectively set and achieve goals. Something almost magical happens when you recognize and focus your creative power on a well defined target. I've seen this time and again the highest achievers in the world have all succeeded because they mapped out their visions. The person who has a clear, compelling, and white hot burning why will always defeat even the best of the best at doing how. So, what the author is saying, the person who has a clear, compelling, and white hot burning why will always defeat even the best of the best doing it how. Means the author is trying to say that your why should be very, very strong. And if you compete, like if two people are competing and one is competing because his why is clear and one is just how one is trying to figure out how, then of course the why will be the winner. That's what he's saying. 5 pages done. Page number 66. How goals, another heading, how goal setting actually works. The mastery secret revealed. You only see, experience, and get what you look for. If you don't know what to look for, you certainly won't get it. By our very nature, we are goal seeking creatures. Our brain is always trying to align our outer world with what we are seeing and expecting in our inner world. So, when you instruct your brain to look for the things you want, you will begin to see them. In fact, the object of your desire has probably always existed around you, but your mind and eyes weren't open to seeing it. In reality, this is how the law of attraction really works. It is not the mysterious, esoteric voodoo. It sometimes sounds like it's far simpler and more practical than that. We are bombarded with billions of sensory, visual, audio, physical, sensory bracket, visual, audio, physical, bracket close, bytes of information each day. To keep ourselves from going insane, we ignore 99% of them. Only really seeing, hearing, or experiencing those upon which our mind focuses. This is why when you think something, it appears that you are miraculously drawing it into your life. In reality, you are now just seeing what was in reality you are now just seeing what was already there. You are truly attracting it into your life. It wasn't there before or accessible to you until your thoughts focused and directed your mind to see it. Make sense? Question mark. This isn't mysterious at all. It's actually quite, page number 67, quite logical. Now, this new perception, whatever your mind is thinking internally, is what it will focus on and all of a sudden see within that 99% of remaining space. Here is a well-known example because it's true. While shopping for buying an while shopping for or buying a new car, you suddenly start to see that model and make everywhere, right? It seemed like there are tons of them on the streets all of a sudden when they weren't there yesterday. But is that realistic? Question mark. Is that realistic? Of course not. They were there all along, but you weren't paying attention to them. Thus, they didn't really exist to you until you gave them your attention. I see. When you define your goals, you give your brain something new to look for and focus on. It's as if you are giving your mind a new set of eyes through which to see all the people, circumstances, conversations, resources, ideas, and creativity surrounding you. With this new perspective and inner itinerary, your mind proceeds to match up to the outside what you want most on the inside. Your goals. It's that simple. The difference in how you experience the world and draw ideas, people and opportunities into your life after you have clearly defined your goals is profound. In one of my interviews with Brian Tracy, he put it this way, quoted, top people have very clear goals. They know who they are and they know what they want. They write it down and they make plans for its accomplishment. Unsuccessful people carry their goals around in their head like marbles rattling around in a can. And we say a goal that is not in writing is merely a fantasy. And everybody has fantasies, but those fantasies are like bullets with no powder in the cartridge. People go through life shooting blanks without written goals, and that's the starting point. Page number 68. I suggest that you take some time today to make a list of your most important goals. I recommend considering goals in all aspects of your life, not just for your business or finances. Be wary of the high price of putting too much focus on any single aspect of your life to the exclusion of everything else. Go for whole life success. Balance in all aspects of your life that are important to you: business, finances, health and well being, spirituality, family and relationships, and lifestyle. Okay. Next heading: who you have to become. Let me define the earlier one. Let me explain and what I've understood. So in earlier paragraph the author was trying to say that it's important to define a clear goal. Your goals should be very much clear. Write down your goals. If you don't write your goals, it is just a fantasy. But if you write your goals, it means you are serious about your goals. It means you are very serious about your goals. So if you have any goal, just write it down. And in the last he's saying that your life should be whole. You should be focusing on every aspect of your life, and your goal should be, and in every aspect of your life you should have a goal. Like, this is what I want financially, this is what I want emotionally, this is what I want, physically, health wise, this is what I want as a family, things like that. Be very specific and very clear about that goal. This is Jim Rohn also said this thing, that be very specific and very clear about your goals: what size, what color, how much, and everything. Be very specific about your goals, right? So let's jump into the next heading: who you have to become. When most people set out to achieve new goals, they ask, okay, I have my goal. Now, what do I need to do to get it? It's not a bad question, but it's not the first question that needs to be addressed either. The question we should be asking ourselves is, who do I need to become? Means like whatever goals you have decided, like what you need to become to achieve that goal, right? You probably know some people who seem to do everything right but still don't produce the results they want, right? Why not? Question mark. One principle Jim Rohn taught me is, again Jim Rohn, okay, one principle Jim Rohn taught me is, if you want to have more, you have to become more. Success is something that you pursue, some is not something that you pursue. What you pursue will elude you. It can be like trying to chase butterflies. Success is something that you attract by the person you become. Yeah, I've listened to this maybe 20 times or maybe 50 times, this thing that Jim Rohn says success is just, I just feel happy whenever I read the name Jim Rohn. This man taught me so many, like this one seminar taught me so many stuff, seriously. So what he basically says that success is something that you attract, not something you pursue. First you have to become that person. So he one line I remember, he said, so if you get, you know, crores of rupees, now if you get millions of rupees, then you I forgot the exact line, but okay. He said something like this, and I still remember that success is something you attract, not something you pursue. First become that person. Success will eventually just come to you. Okay. So when I understood that philosophy, wow, it revolutionized my life and personal growth. Well, actually, and since the day I've started listening to his seminar, it actually changed so many things in me. I one thing just that always stuck in my head is that, wait, let me, is that you can change everything you want. You can change everything you want. You can change everything you want about your life. You are not a tree. If you don't like the geography location, change it. If you don't like the, if you don't like the way you talk, change it. Like everything you can change. That's what he meant. And it's so true, and it's actually it's something that revolutionized my personal growth as well. So I seriously, like, if anybody is watching, then please go to the seminar of Jim Rohn. It's 2 hour seminar. It's so good. You will learn so many stuff. When I was revolutionized my sorry for, you know, talking and all, but today I have time, so I am just talking. And we're almost there. Page number 68. Two more pages left. It revolutionized my life and personal growth. When I was single and ready to find my mate and get married, I made a long list of traits I desire in the perfect woman for me, in the bracket for me. I filled more than 40 pages of a journal, front and back, described her in great detail, her personality, character, key attributes, attitudes, and philosophies about life, even what kind of family she'd come from. Including her culture and physical makeup down to the texture of her hair. I wrote in depth what our life would be like and what we'd do together. If I had simply asked, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to find and get this girl? Question mark. I might still be on that butterfly chase. Instead, I looked back at the list and considered whether or not I embodied those same attributes myself. Did I have the very qualities I expected in her? I asked myself, what kind of a man would a woman like this be looking for? Who do I need? Who do I need to become to be attractive to a woman with this substance? Kaisi ho behna? I'm good. I'm extremely good. Okay, so so here is the most important lesson of your life if about relationships. This book is good about relationships, that if you want anything in a partner, first you have to become that partner. If you want a loyal one, be loyal, be a loyal person, be someone who have high standards. If you want a girl who is, have very high standards, who trustworthy, then you have to become first that. Because I don't know how the world works, this world works like magically or something. If you can become that person, you will attract that person. So when one quote I remember about relationship, that was that you attract you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So to in order to get what you want, you have to become that. And one thing you can also ask about yourself, that it is good, you can ask that, what, like, if I would have been the opposite gender, like, will I date myself? It will, it will give all your answers. Okay, let's continue. I filtered 40 more pages describing all the attributes, qualities, behaviors, attitudes, and characteristics I needed to become myself. And then I went to work on becoming and achieving those qualities. Guess what? It worked. As if she were peeled off the pages of my journal and appeared in front of me. My wife, Georgia, is exactly what I described and asked for in almost airy detail. The key was getting clear on who I'd have to be to attract and keep a woman of her quality, and then doing the work to achieve that. It's so good, guys. See, he attracted what he wanted because he became that person. Last page 40. Sorry, last page 70. Page number 70. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. Okay. Behave yourself. Another heading. All right. Let's map out your process for achieving the goals you have decided upon. This is the doing process, or in some cases, the stop doing process. What stands between you and your goal is your behavior. Do you need to stop doing anything to so the compound effect isn't taking you into the downward spiral? Similarly, what do you need to start doing to change your trajectory so that's headed in the most beneficial direction? In other words, what habits and behaviors do you need to subtract from and add to your life? Your life comes down to this formula. So there is a formula written. Look at this. There is a formula written. So it's like you, choice or decision, plus behavior bracket action, habit bracket repeated action, compound, habit plus compounded bracket time equal to goals. So that's why it's important to figure out which behaviors are blocking the path that leads to your goal, and which behaviors will help you accomplish your goals. You may think you've got a handle on all your bad habits, but I'd bet good money you're wrong. Again, that's why tracking is so effective. I mean, honestly, do you know how many hours of TV you really watch every day? Question mark. How many hours do you spend tuned into news channels or keeping up with the goals and accomplishments of others on the sports or style networks? Do you know how many cans of soda do you drink? Question mark. Or how many hours do you spend doing non-essentials? Work, bracket, work, invited comma, work, okay? On the computer scrolling through social media, question mark. As I emphasized in the previous chapter, your first job is to become aware of how you are behaving, where you have fallen asleep on the job and developed an unconscious bad habit that's leading you astray, question mark. So 10 pages over. Should I continue reading or not? Is anybody here who's, listening to my reading? Please respond. Two people are there. Should I continue or should I end this live today? Wait, let me see. Yes, yes. Yes, yes means what? Should I continue? Okay. So yes, yes means should I should continue, right? And I'm feeling like reading more today because I've not read for so 3 days. Yeah. So I'm feeling like reading more. Got it. Let's go. Page number 71. Not long ago, a successful executive with whom I serve on a non-profit board hired me on hired me to mentor him to improve his productivity. He was doing well, but knew he could optimize his time and output further with some coaching. With some coaching, I had him track his activities for a week and I noticed something. I see too often he spent an incredible amount of time reviewing the news, 45 minutes in the morning reading the newspaper, another 30 minutes listening to news on his morning commute, and an equal amount of time tuning in again on his drive back home. During his workday, he checked online news updates several times, spending at least 20 minutes in total. When he got home, he'd catch the last 15 minutes of the local news while greeting his family. Then he'd catch up on 30 minutes of sports news and 30 minutes of 10 o'clock news before going to bed. Oh my god, he's listening too much of news. Okay. It's don't listen to so much news, guys. It's so it will make you pathetic. Like news, see, I remember I was watching a news and it was very sad. And I was just normal human being. And after listening to that news, I have become very sad. And I cannot even do anything about that stuff. But I've become sad and if in effect it affected my productivity. So why should I listen to news when I can't do anything about it? One wise man once said that first you change your life, you become powerful, then try to change other stuff around you, right? So what's the point of listening to news and watching news? No, nothing. Okay. Let's go. uh, then he'd catch up on 30 minutes of sports news and 30 minutes of 10 o'clock news before going to bed. In total, he was spending 3.5 hours with the news each day. This man wasn't an economist or a commodities trader or in any profession that lived or died by the latest news. The time he spent with the paper and news programs on radio and TV greatly exceeded that what he needed to be a knowledgeable voter and contributing member of society, or even to enhance his own personal interest. In fact, he was getting very little valuable information through his programming choices, or rather his lack of choices. So why did he spend nearly 4 hours a day consuming it? It was a habit. I suggested he keep his TV and radio off, cancel his newspaper subscription, and set up a single industry news aggregator so he could select and receive only the news he deemed important for his business and personal interest. Doing so immediately cleared out 95% of the mind cluttered and time sucking. See exactly what I was talking about. After just stopping unnecessary news listening, he cleared out 95% of his mind cluttered. When we listen too much news and all, we clutter our mind with lots of information that is not even necessary in our daily life, that is not even relevant at all, but we still, like, because it's a habit, we still continue doing that. Okay, page number 72. Time sucking noise. He would now review all that mattered to him in less than 20 minutes a day, from almost 5 hours to 20 minutes a day. That's the difference. This left the 45 minutes in the morning, his commute time, and that hour in the evening, that productive activities, exercise, listening to instruction and inspirational material, reading, planning, preparing, and spending quality time with his family. He tells me he's never felt less stressed. Constant negative news has a tendency to make you anxious. I told you this. What author is saying. Constant negative news has a tendency to make you anxious. So I told you about this just right. Just a minute ago, that my story where I just out of nowhere read a news and it made me sad and anxious out of nowhere, and it affected my productivity. So likewise, many people watch news and all, and it affects them, it affects their productivity. It's not important, especially if you really want to achieve something. Why you want to listen to all the nonsense stuff that is not related to your goals? Whatever which is not related to your goals, you don't have to listen to this. I know you will say that, oh, why she were saying that, said, you are so pathetic. I should, like all the people who have harmed themselves, and if I don't listen to them, and all. I mean, why I am saying this? Because it will change your life, it will change your mindset, and it will change your peace. It will keep you in peace. Okay, okay. Next. Today I am getting explaining too much. Too much. I know the time is also too much. 48 minutes already. Okay, let's go. So one where I was. Okay, so constant negativity is a tendency to make you anxious, right? Okay, he tells me he's never felt less stressed and more inspired and focused that he does now. One small simple change in habit, one giant leap forward in balance and productivity. In case that example didn't fully resonate with you because you are not a news addict, let's give that this one a try. I'm pretty confident you will be able to relate to this example because it's something that impacts so many people in highly connected world today. Myself included. In the bracket, author is saying myself included. Okay. It's a phenomenon psychologists call digiphrenia. Okay. It's a quoted Schizophrenia is quoted. It is a mental condition caused by the constant bombardment of digital input. I discuss this phenomenon and how important it is to combat this bad habit of in my insane productivity curriculum. In habit surrounding technology overuse are so common today that most aren't even aware of how much it is destroying our capacity to keep our focus, stay on track, and make progress on our goals. Having these open portals with the world having direct 24/7 365 access to our attention in a new reality that most haven't figured out how to properly manage. The technology we designed to make life easier and more productive has done just the opposite. Technology is a great tool, but a terrible master. Listen, just remember, let me just highlight this line. It's good, guys, it's good. This book is good, I'm loving it. Technology is a tool but a terrible master. Technology is a great tool but a terrible master. Okay, we have quickly become its slave. One member of Insane Productivity, Sergio, explained, page number 73. In this way, saying digraphenia has had a large effect on my productivity. I had never realized how much time it was taking away from my day. The worst part is that there was no easy way for me to track how often and how long I was spending on my mobile phone. I finally installed an application that tracks how long the screen is left on. I was shocked to find out that I was spending 4 to 5 hours on my device per day, and that I would check it nearly 150 times a day. Guys, I just did the same few days back. Maybe last month I downloaded an app to just see how much time I spend in my mobile phone. But I don't use social media, by the way, but even then also, because I listen to music, listen to YouTube music especially, and all the stotram and to these stuff also increase my screen time. But still, I still use a lot of my phone, which I'm trying to reduce these days. But actually, downloading an app which can track your time, it's a very good initiative that you can take. At least you will be aware of it. And as we read in this book at the beginning, that tracking is the beginning of controlling your habits. Once you know that how much time you are spending and where you are spending it, it will be beneficial for you. At least you will be aware of it. Okay, so let's go. Paid another insane productivity alum revealed, quoted, I thought my behavior were normal, but my iPhone and computer were ruling my life. I was checking my emails every couple of minutes, including before bed and when waking, sending text messages, checking the news multiple times, and now we're checking my phone, temp, and door locks and many more things. The distractions had a negative impact on my ability to be engaged with my customers and family members. My multiple computers, monitors had at least 5 applications open, live at all times. During phone conversations, I would also be checking RSS feeds, shopping, reading, responding to emails. I am happy to report that both Sergio and Pete, two of our more than 35 alumni, were able to gain back control over the technology and kiss digiphrenia goodbye. Just like high volume, low nutrient food makes your body fat, high volume, low nutrient information make your head fat. Oh my god. Wait, let me highlight this one. Like junk food make you fat, so low quality information and junk information makes your head fat. This is nice. Okay, allow too much distraction by technology and you will end up with diabetes of the mind. Okay, I will talk about this in my next video for sure. Okay, now it's your turn. Get out your little notebook and write out your top three goals. Now make a list of the bad. What what about my throat? What's happening? Okay, page number 74. Uh, of the list of bad habits that might be sabotaging your progress in each area. Write down everyone. So the author is saying write down all your bad habits that is sabotaging your success. Like this someone who's very lazy. Why you are lazy? Like what are the reason? You should you should write that down. Why what are the reasons that you are really lazy? And what are the reason you are not completing your task on time? You should write that down. Why you are not studying for your exams? Why you are not studying for that job you want? So write down the habits that you need to change. You first between what you say and what you do. I am going to believe what you do every time. If you tell me you want to be healthy, but you've got Doritos dust on your fingers, I'm believing the Doritos. If you say self improvement is a priority, but you spend more time with your Xbox than at the library, I'm believing the Xbox. If you say you are a dedicated professional but you show up late and are unprepared, your behavior rats you out every time. You say your family is your top priority, but if they don't appear on your busy calendar, they aren't really. Look at the list of bad habits you just made. That's the truth about who you are. Now you get to decide whether that's okay or if you want to change. Next, add to that list all the habits you need to adopt that practiced and compounded over time will result in you gloriously achieving your goals. Making this list isn't about wasting energy by getting judgmental and regretful. It's about taking a clear headed look at what you want to improve. I'm going to leave you there. However, let's uproot this sabotaging bad habit and plant new positive and healthy ones at their place. So I need to talk about this, man. So what this is saying, if you want something, if you want to, like, even take the example of me or anyone, you want something but you are doing something else, then I'll not believe what you want or what you are saying. I'll believe what you are doing. If you are saying that, okay, I am, like the author says, I am into self improvement, but you are not going to gym, you are not reading books, you are not studying, then I will believe what you are doing. Like the habits that you are following, the habits that you build, that's what defines you, not what you say or what you want. So that's what you are. Like whatever you are doing in your day to day life, like the author said, like write the three things that you are, bad things that you are doing every single day, that that stopping you, that sabotaging your success. That's what you are, that's what you actually are. And if you want to stay the same, then you can, of course you can. But as now you realize that this is what you are and this is what actually is, then you can change. And of course the author will give many strategies for that. We've almost come at the end of page number 74. Game changers, 5 strategies for eliminating bad habits. Another heading, game changers, 5 strategies for eliminating bad habits. Your habits are learned, therefore they can be unlearned. If you want to sail your life in a new direction, you have to first pick up the anchors of bad habits that have been weighing you down. The key is to make your why powerful, so strong that it overwhelms your urges for instant gratification. And for that, you need a new game plan. The following are the all time favorite game changers. Identify your triggers. Page number 75. Number 1, identify your triggers. Look at your list of bad habits for each one of you written down. Identify what triggers it. Figure out what I call the big 4S: who, the what, uh, the where, and the when. Underlying each bad behavior. For example, are you more likely to drink too much when you are with certain people? Is there a particular time of day when you just have to have something sweet? Yeah, for me, after having my meal. What emotions tend to provoke your worst habits? Stress, fatigue, anger, nervousness, boredom. Sadness, I guess. What do you experience those? When do you experience those emotions? Who are you with? Where are you? Or what you are doing? Okay. What situation prompt your bad habits to surface? Getting in your car, the time before performance, reviews, visit with your in-laws, conferences, social settings, feeling physically insecure, deadlines, all these question marks. Okay. Take a take a closer look at your routines. What do you typically say when you wake up? When you are on a coffee or lunch break? When you've gotten home for a long day? Again, get out your notebook or use the bad habit killer worksheet. Now, write down your triggers. The simple action also increases your awareness exponentially, but of course, this is in the whole enchilada because, as we've discussed, increasing your awareness of bad habits isn't enough to break it. Page number 75 done. Today, we've read 15 pages. Now, I'll conclude today. We've learned so much today, it's overwhelming. I have to also write. I have few bad habits that I need to change. And so what we have learned today, guys, so many things, that your goals should be very clear. Whatever you want to achieve, first you have to become that person to achieve. If you want to become successful, then you have to adopt the traits that successful people do. If you want a good partner, then you have to, like, if you want a certain kind of partner, then you have to become that certain kind of person first, then you will attract automatically that. And then be very clear about your goals, what you exactly want, what exactly it is, how much, exact. Okay, next, what it is, what you think you are is completely different than what you do. Whatever you do every single day, that's what defines you. So make sure you track your process and write down all your bad habits. Then, and at last, try ask yourself why and when you get triggered, like what situation, what circumstances, what force you to act in that certain way, that what force you to become unproductive or anxious or whatever bad habits you do. Okay, so I've loved today's session. It's This book is good, man. Okay, let's end the session. See you tomorrow. Good night. I had a very good time. If you had the same, then comment down below and like the live. See you tomorrow, guys.